Welcome to the Blackhawk Farms Raceway in South Beloit, Illinois, for round 2 of the HARC Can-Am Series USA Tour. It has been a wild weekend with terrible weather. Derek Hamill set the fastest time during qualifying, which was held in a monsoon. The rain did let up somewhat ahead of the green flag, however, it is still wet and, more importantly, still very windy. It'll be interesting to see how these drivers navigate this tight course. Thankfully, when you live in Daytona Beach, like Derek Hamill does, you see winds like this every once in a while. But certainly don't expect to see them up in Illinois, as Hamill leads the field to the green for the first of 52 laps. Alongside him, Andreas Allen out of Virginia, Shrimp Bankeritz, and Mitchell Carter, both from Louisiana, run out the second row. As the field enters turn 1, it looks like they're going to get through cleanly. That is a real big surprise as they slip and slide through turn 3. Due to the weather, we're going to be using the drone cam quite a bit during today's race. So we watch the field zoom on by as they enter turn 3A. The field enters turn 3B, the other side of the complex, and we've got some cars off. It looks like Trey Wright has spun off out of 5th place. Got another car off, we'll have to take a look at that. We take to the chopper cam to focus in on Caden Morgan. He was the other spinner. Wright and Morgan both spin off. They just kind of run out of room and go off course. They will both resume and head up onto the banking of turn 4. If there's one thing that Josh King out of Nebraska is good at, it's making the highlight reel early, because he makes it 3 wide on Aiden Shepard and Carlin Dumian, who almost crashed there, by the way. King no doubt saw that and decided to go for it anyway. He, of course, made it 6 wide early on at Michigan last race. He picks up 1 spot, getting by Endumian, but he's not able to take on Shepard, at least quite yet, as the field finishes up lap 1. James Gibson was fastest in first practice, however, a spin in his qualifying lap sent him to the back of the field. The number 75 Perolator Dodge Daytona has been very quick, as we've got a couple spinners. 38 is off again. 78, the 09, and 56 of King is stopped up against the barrier there. We need a replay of that. Here is Josh King as he and Carlin Dumian spin off. Cynthia Van Klompenborg no brakes into the chicane, and she bumps the 56 into a spot that he can't get out of. The 78 of Prudence Littlejohn gets some damage, as does the 09 of Brandon Crasta. Here is Prudence Littlejohn in the Kit Pitt family throwback. She spins off 09 of Crasta, as mentioned, and gets into the wall there. I think Eric Cardona got a bit of damage. Everyone would continue on from this. Josh King, however, would need a tow back to the pits to fix what turned out to be an issue with his rear gear, because he could not back out of that position. One last shot of that. I do hope this cameraman is getting paid extra today, considering the conditions, as that's a hard shunt for the 01. Tight end Gertis in the 0 and Ryan Bolden also spin, and there's Cardona sliding off. As stated, everyone would continue on in the race, though Josh King would need a tow back to the pits. As we watch Shrimp Bankeritz spin the number 59 Oswego Speedway DeLorean off in turn 7, officials are very aware of just how bad the conditions are, which makes it kind of scary to think what a race would have been like if the rain was as bad as it was yesterday. HARC officials have told teams that they may be cutting this race short. They will announce on lap 20 if they're going to go the full distance. If the race doesn't go the full way, it will be shortened to 39 laps. Like James Gibson, Dan Boyles was also very fast in practice. In fact, he topped Happy Hour. The number 52 Phillips 66 Chrysler is very good on the road courses, so this will be an interesting chase up front for Boyles, as we've got a couple cars spinning off of 3B. Actually, I think just one, Steve McDougall. He will drive away. Headed back to 3B as we watch Hamill and Allen make it through. Bobby Jones out of 3rd place spins off, and there goes Alex Allen. I saw someone else getting there. but it looks like they've gathered it back up. James Shelley looks like he's gone off, as we've got several cars piling into one another in the chicane. One car rolling. This is a mess, and it'll definitely take a couple cars out. Wow, I didn't expect to see a car on its roof here, but here we are. This is one of the longest incidents I've ever seen in HARC, as DJ Curtis started this one off by spinning off the curbs in 3A and getting into Shelley. That wasn't on purpose, but Shelley clearly not happy, as he puts Curtis up into the wall, and Jack Halleck decides to take advantage of the 32H. We'll have to see if there's any mayhem in the pits after this one. Back to the drone cam for this one. There's Shelley going off. Dan Boyle spins. There goes Josh Sekuli. Ryan Bolden. Nathan Hudson works his way through as Audra Baranowskis almost stalls it on the curbs. But it would be even wilder on the other side. Taken to the chopper, focusing on Baranowskis. As she stalls on the chicane, Kloppenborg and Hudson work their way through. As she finally gets the show back on the road, Orman spins off. There's our flipper. That's the 04 of Caden Morgan, putting on a bit of a yard sale in the 04 Napster Oldsmobile, but he's actually able to drive it away. 15 of the 32 starters would get damage in turn 3B on this lap. We've got a couple onboard cams. First up is Caden Morgan, who actually has a helm cam, as he flips the car over, angling off of the sausage curb in 3B, and using the 38 as kind of a stopping point. The 04 is able to continue on in the race, but we do have a few retirements, as he just passed by one of them, Cynthia Van Kloppenborg. On board Van Kloppenborg, the surprise Michigan winner. She makes it by Audra Baranowskis, but Josh Sekuli spins right in front of her, and she puts it into the wall. She backs it around and tries to get it back underway. However, it's going to be day over for the 71 team. They're going to have to take it behind the wall and out of the race. Back on board James Gibson. He gets a really good angle of the 04's flip. Puts it back down and gets back going. There's the other retirement after this one. Tyden Gertis from 0. Right behind, that was Eric Cardona deciding that the road wasn't wide enough for both him and the 75. Sends them for an extra spin, but Gibson gets back going. On board California's Nathan Ormond, as he gets a really good shot at what happened to the 0. He slides off into the runoff and sees the 0 pile into the end of the wall and get hit by Baranowskis. I think that was a steering lockout, so not much that Curtis could have done, but the 0 car wouldn't even be able to drive away from that. He'd need a crane parked at near turn 4 to hoist him up and out of the way. Derek Hamill cruises down the front stretch to begin lap 5. Yes, everything seen so far happened in the first 4 laps. From here on out, I'm not going to be showing every single spin-off or anything of that ilk. If it wasn't notable, it's not going to be shown. Here's Chris Dodd in the 88A Peak Annie Crees Camaro. I don't think we mentioned the Puerto Rican at all at Michigan. He's in the middle of one of the more heated battles going on, trying to get by both Aiden Shepard and DJ Curtis. The 3 HARC veterans are certainly putting on a show, as Dodd slips wide a little bit, so looks like he's going to lose some momentum, but going into the chicane, you really don't want to be on the outside of the chicane, and, there goes Curtis. That was quite inevitable, and that's something that's been going on for most of the weekend. Aiden Davidson is who we're on board with. The Australian was the first car out of the race at Michigan, so he's hoping for better fortunes, as he goes by a rather bizarre sign in turn 3. Not quite sure who put that up. As Caden Morgan spins off, gets by, and all is well. Great to see Morgan still going after flipping the car over, that's for sure. But he might want to be a little more careful if he's going to stay out here and do laps. Taking a look at the drone cam on lap 6, as we got 2 more cars off, That is Aiden Shepard and Alexander Rowe. Rowe, heavy damage to the 36 car. I'm not so sure if he's going to continue. On board with Xander Rowe as he collides with Aiden Shepard, and they both go off rather hard into the barrier. Dan Boyles barely gets by. Rowe is still recovering after that violent crash at Michigan last time out. The team did not release in what way Rowe was injured, but he was clearly very sore when he hopped into the race car today. The damage is repairable on the Motec Ford Mustang, however, already short 2 cars from their disastrous weekend at Michigan. JV Motorsports would just call him behind the wall and drop out of the race, deciding to preserve parts rather than possibly have a write-off. Brandon Crasto was a late entry into HARC this year. So late, in fact, that his number 09 car still have Go Sydney Go on the back, despite the fact that Sidney Crasto isn't racing in HARC this year. Speaking of late entries, Josh Cicculi makes a late entry into turn 7 and takes both himself and Crasto off. Looks like that's actually terminal damage for the 2 car. We'll have to take a look at that. On board with Josh Cicculi, the defending team champion out of Brooklyn, New York, as he misses his braking point going into turn 7, and something got knocked loose by that hit, and he'll have to retire the car as Nathan Ormond is off at full speed in the back. I don't have a replay of that, unfortunately, but he's able to get back going. Unfortunately, that's day done for the number 2 car. On board with Mitchell Carter of Chatham, Louisiana, as Derek Hamill spins off up ahead and gives up the lead to the 88 car. Hamill is throwing away a pretty solid lead he had. Hamill is winless in HARC. Mitchell Carter has 1 victory coming at Jennerstown in 2017. Field finally gets ready to start lap 10. And here's your running order. Mitchell Carter is first. Second place is Derek Hamill. Engritz, Ozkan, Monaco, Halleck, Shelley, Davidson, and the 2 Allens round out the top 10. Dan Boyles runs 11th. Everyone else is a lap down. Ryan Bolden and Steve McDougall do battle for 12th. And doing battle for 14th are DJ Curtis and Trey Wright. Now here's something you don't see every day. The 288 cars are dueling one another. Chris Dodd in the 88A and the 88 of Mitchell Carter. Of course, Carter's the leader. As Dodd gets into the wall there and allows for the single 8 car of Nathan Hudson to get by in turn 5. Carter's going to be making his first pit stop shortly. The tire window is about 16 laps. Here comes the cavalry. Everyone's going to be making their pit stop, it seems. Derek Hamill spins off of the access road, makes a very hard right-hand turn, and makes it into the pit lane safely. That could be a trouble spot a little later in the race, as many more of the leaders hit the pit lane. I've seen about 2 or 3 cars spin off of turn 7 in the shot. There might be a puddle down there. Officials will have to take that into account when they decide. Whoa! That was Caden Morgan. When they decide if this race is going to go the full distance. Shout out to Eric Monaco of Ransomville, New York. The 1X Halmar Camaro. Whoa! It spins off there. The 1X Halmar Camaro has been very quick today, despite starting towards the back, as there goes Zeta Davidson. But Monaco, dirt tracker by trade. Pretty surprising to see him doing so well here. But, well, I guess he is pretty good at drifting his way through corners. So, perhaps this is the second home. Mitchell Carter swings his way through turn 3 on lap 15. And while he does so, the officials come over the radio, and they have made their decision. This race will not be going the full distance. The checker flag will fly on lap 39. So, these guys will have to take that into account when plotting out their pit strategies. Shout out to Carlin Dumian, who's still out there, despite driving what's basically a NASCAR modified. He's currently running in 24th place. One of the last cars still running and is about 2 laps down. But, hey, he's still out there, so congrats to him. Mitchell Carter makes his first pit stop of the day, as we've actually got an incident in turn 1, kind of cut the tail end of it there. Trey Wright and Aiden Shepard collided, both continued, and Audra Baranowskis has put it into the hay bales in turn 2. Actually haven't seen anyone hit those today, but yeah, probably a great choice by the officials to cut this race short, as this is already becoming a demolition derby, if it wasn't already. Watching the pit stops continue, Jack Halleck and Alex Allen are in out of 8th and 9th, as Steve McDougall looks to have almost spun off. Trey Wright did spin off, and there's the leader now. That's Eric Monaco in the 1X. Monaco has not made a pit stop at all. His rain tires must be crying for mercy underneath his car. Ryan Bolden, who we're looking at right now, giving Bolden some credit. He's recovering very well after his big finish line shot at Michigan the other week. A lot of these HARC teams only have 3, maybe 4 chassis in the garage. So Bolden's really doing well in his recovery. Hopefully this team can get right back on their feet, because I know being short of chassis is very painful. As Bolden almost spins off of the pit entrance, but he makes it in okay, as it looks like Eric Monaco is finally in for his first stop. Rear bumper cam of Aiden Shepard. Shepard's car looks like it's taken too many hits, and he's going to pull it behind the wall. As Brandon Krasta has put it into the end of the attenuator. Wow, that's a little embarrassing for the Californian. But yeah, that'll do him in, and as mentioned, Shepard is coming into the pits to retire his car. To live in Florida, you probably have to get used to strange weather like this, being as it's currently pouring and extremely windy, but the sun's out. Derek Hamill, who comes from Florida, has probably seen something like this before, and he's certainly showing his knowledge of the rain, as he has made his way back up to 3rd place, 13 seconds behind Mitchell Carter, and 9 seconds behind Eric Monaco. Hamill last pitted on lap 12, so we'll have to see how far he goes. As the race has gone on, it's become abundantly clear that pitting early was the best move that the drivers could make, because these rain tires heat up very quickly, and around goes Audra Baranowskis at the fastest turn on the course. That's at 6A. I think she got turned around by Orman there. Yeah, she'll continue. But it's become very clear that pitting early was the better choice, as Mitchell Carter and Eric Monaco have been losing time very quickly. They're losing about 2 seconds a lap and will be caught rather soon. These drones have proven to be very useful today. As we wait for the leaders, there goes the tail end of the lead lap, Halleck and Alex Allen. Here comes Eric Monaco. Wait, where's Mitchell Carter at? I saw smoke rising from the pit wall. Has he ended up there? Taking a look at the pit lane cam, I think there must be a puddle somewhere at the inside of turn 7, because both the top two spin off, and as Mitchell Carter tries to get back to the pit road, he slams into the end of the attenuator. That is quite unfortunate, and that will take the leader out of the race. Going on board with Eric Monaco, I'm going to skip Mitchell Carter's on board to save him from embarrassment. Apparently, Carter was headed to the pits for a new set of tires. These rain tires, if you can keep from spinning off course very much in the first couple laps while they heat up, then they will provide you with some amazing speed. He had gone off course a couple of times and was going to get on a new set and try again to see if he could outlast Hamill at the end. But of course, that hit into the pit wall kind of ended that. The only real solace, besides that he's okay, of course, is that he'll have a friend to accompany him to the Infield Care Center, because Nathan Hudson went into the attenuator about 30 seconds after Carter did. Lap 25, here's the lead pack. Eric Monaco leads. 2nd place is Derek Hamill. 3rd place is Dan Boyles. 4th is James Shelley. 5th is Shrimp Engritz. 6th, Samet Ozkan. 7th, Steve McDougall. 8th is Andreas Allen, 9th Jack Halleck, and 10th is Alex Allen. Those are the only 10 cars on the lead lap. Giving some attention to Prudence Littlejohn here, the number 78 car has the colors of the first race car that Kip Pitt, team owner, ever ran in a national series. The 1979 Pitt throwback is to the gas and brake muffler service Dodge that Kip got his start in, running for team owner Terry Gass. Prudence is currently running in 18th, however, she's got a pretty quick car, so we might be seeing her up a couple spots by the end of the race. Eric Monaco spins off of turn number 7. I think the pressure's finally gotten to him, and on by goes Derek Hamill. That is a lead change, so back to the lead goes Hamill. It's going to be hard work for the 1X to catch up to the 34, because Hamill has been controlling his tires very well. The fastest car on the track right now is actually Dan Boyles in the 52. He's done an excellent job at keeping his tires hot and clean. That sounded a little odd. But Boyles, rounding turn 5, as stated, he's got the best lap of the race, so a mistake or two by Hamill might allow for him to catch up to the 34 car. Eric Monaco misses his braking point going into turn 7 on lap 29, and he spins off course and gives up second place to Dan Boyles. Now, that was pretty embarrassing, and it's made worse by the fact that this is the 4th time that Monaco spun off in that corner. However, considering there have been 80 confirmed incidents in that turn up till this point, and those are only incidents that the officials are aware of, I think he gets a pass on that. Even Hamill has spun off there. Eric Cardona is trying to do something to make the highlight reel, and he spins off of turn 7, just like everybody else. Heads towards the pit wall. Wow! That was close. He missed that attenuator by about 2 or 3 inches, so lucky boy he is, as Cardona receives his scheduled service. Speaking of scheduled service, Trey Wright heads out of the pit lane. He's 1 lap down, but he's still running pretty well, considering how spread out the field is, as second and third come up on him, and Wright has moved over into the 52 car, setting himself and Boyles off into the sand trap in turn 3. That is unfortunate, and it looks like they're going to have to play, make some sandcastles out there, because they're not going to get a tow truck for a little bit. But yeah, that's a little iffy. Wright has been called to the hauler. Taking another look at that, I'm not sure if officials are going to penalize the 38. He did just move over without checking his mirrors, but granted, the conditions are so poor that I'm not sure if he would have seen the 52 car. In any case, they will be talking to him in the hauler after this one. Derek Hamill pulls the number 34 Tall Clubs International Schluter Systems Volusia Speedway Park Chevy Camaro into the pits for what will be his second and final stop, hopefully his final stop, on lap 32. Looks like Eric Monaco ran off a little bit in the background, but he's made it into the pit safely. This stop will be critical for Derek Hamill. In case you thought that people were done spinning off of 3B, no, they aren't. There's been even more incidents in 3B. In fact, the marshal that they got to count how many cars went off there just gave up around lap 10. Alex Allen has gone off there probably about 6 times or so, and yet he's still running in 12th. I think that shows how much of an endurance this race has been, but thankfully it is at its end. On board James Shelley as he heads by the hay bales in the second half of turn 6. This really is a great facility, however conditions aren't really allowing for it to put on its full potential. As is that Monaco again? My goodness, he really does not like that corner. Perhaps it should be named for him. We do have one pretty solid battle left. The duel for 4th between Sumit Ozkan and Steve McDougall. As McDougall gets the spot in a great move off of 3B on the outside, but then gets into the turn 4 wall. A lot of people have been hitting that wall. So it's a great chance for Ozcon in the Ozcon Motorsports number 91 Chrysler to make the pass. The weather's only gotten worse over time, so no doubt everyone's happy to see Hamill. Hamill spins off of turn 7. People probably aren't happy to see this. I think a lot of these drivers just want today to be over so they can get out of their cars and get in the shade or get in shelter. And Hamill takes the white flag. He's got about a 5-second lead on Eric Monaco. Derek Hamill entered HARC in 2017. Running alongside the unfortunately since departed Taylor Price for the Taylor-built motorsports team. The two had some success, but after Taylor's passing, Hamill took control of the team's assets, and he built this team up during HARC's off years and has created one heck of a fleet for himself and his new teammate Brian Hart. The Glencoe Giant, as they call him, he gets in the wall there. Glencoe Giant, he stands 6'11". He flipped over 4 times during his first HARC season. So it was a miracle how he got into the car, let alone get out of it. But the Daytona Beach, Florida native, running a tribute scheme to a fallen family member who passed away after a heart attack at a short track a couple years ago, as he heads by the stricken car of Caden Morgan. Derek Hamill will score his very first HARC Can-Am Series win here in the monsoon conditions at Blackhawk Farms. So, great win for Derek Hamill and the entire Hamill Racing Enterprises team. No doubt, he's ready to get out of this car and enjoy some R&R. Whoa! Buddy, that's not where the beach is. Get out of the sand. Wow, that was a little iffy, but at least it was on the cooldown lap. After about the halfway point, there was a real lull in the actual on-track action. A lot of the teams just went into survival mode and worked on getting the car to the finish. Many of the passes were made as people headed into the pits and recovered from spins in 3B and turn 7. Eric Monaco slip slides his way to second place. I'm sure he'll be happy to stand on the podium, though he may look a little short compared to Hamill on the top step. Bronze medal goes to James Shelley. 4th place, Steve McDougall. 5th, Sumet Ozcon. 4 drivers led laps today. Hamill, Monaco, Carter, and Ozcon. Ozcon led 1 on a pit cycle. Trim Pengritz comes home 6th. 7th is Jack Halleck. 8th, Andreas Allen. 9th, Ryan Bolden. Eric Cardona would have gotten 10th, however, he made a pit stop coming to the white flag, so he gave that up. Prudence Littlejohn will salvage a 10th place finish. 23 cars finished the race today. Audra Baranowskis dropped out with a couple laps to go. Her car just gave up the ghost. It's been a really, really bad season for William Brock Motorsports in the USA Tour, but it's only 2 races in, plenty of time to get something done. Only driver to have scored a top 10 in both races so far is Steve McDougall, so he tops the point standings by a pretty fair margin. He's 15 points ahead of Derek Hamill and 20 ahead of Eric Monaco. And the next race will possibly be even more unpredictable as HARC heads to Batesville Motor Speedway in Locust Grove, Arkansas for a dirt race. This one is going to be a good one.